28th of January, Rabbi Moore, Parsha Hashavua with Rashi.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes, Rabbi, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Okay, let's start Parshas Yisro.
Vayishma.
Your bar mitzvah Parsha?
Actually, no, I didn't have a bar mitzvah.
Oh,
I didn't learn Aleph Beis until I was 30.
oh wow.
Yeah. So, but Yisro was my son's bar mitzvah Parsha. And
You
I
learned the whole,
taught it,
learned,
so I had to learn the whole thing myself first.
I see. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yisro Kohen Midyan Chosein Moshe Ace Kol Asher Asa Elokim LeMoshe Ule Yisrael Amo Ki Hotzi Hashem Es Yisrael Mi Mitzrayim. So Yisro, the minister of Midian, the father-in-law of Moshe, heard all that God did to Moshe and to Israel.
Yeah. Did two or four them. Did for Moshe and for Israel.
His people, that Hashem took Israel out of Egypt.
Okay. And we're going to see Rashi's going to explain. I mean, there were other things as well. But this was the greatest of them all.
Right.
This is what she's going to point out.
So Vayishma Yisro, Ma Shamua Shama Uva. What report did he hear that he came, that caused him to come?
Right.
Karias Yamsuf Umilchemes Amalek. The splitting of the Sea of Reeds and the war with Amalek. Yisro. Shiva Shemos Nikra'u Lo. 7
Name.
I gotta let Mayor in. Hold on a second.
Yeah, by the way, just on the previous pasuk, the Mefarshim dwell on the fact that why does Rashi just mention these two things? There were many other things. Okay. But the Mefarshim, it's a number of Mefarshim learn this way, that it's two things: Kriyas Yamsuf and Melchemes Amalek. Because in Rashi, in his, should we say, in his question, Ma Shmua Shoma Uba. Okay? What did Yisro hear that he heard and came, that made him come? And to the answer is Priyas Yamsuf and Melchemes Amalek, the splitting of the sea and the war with Amalek. Basically, what that represents is as follows: that it says, we said it yesterday in the Kriyas Torah in Parshas Beshalach, Shamu Amim Yirgozu, the peoples, the nations of the world heard Yirgozun, and they trembled. Chilochaz Yoshri Peloshes. Ozni Balu Alufei Edom, Eloi Moyov Yechazemu Roat. No Moigu Kol Yoshri Canaan. Tipol Alem Emosov Ofachad Bigdoi Zorocha Yidimu Kaabe. Means to be Kitza, as they say in good English, the guy who got sitting in the Heisen, right? They were dead scared. I guess you call it that name, the best way of pressing it in English. They were dead scared. Why? Because when the Jewish people came out of Mitzrayim, they had that at the beginning of last week's Parsha, they were the untouchables. Okay, so therefore, that's why the nations of the world were afraid. What did Amalek do? Amalek, they said, oh, you know what? Okay, you think they're the untouchables? We're going to start out with them. We're going to pick a fight with them. And Enoch Hanami, the Amalekites got defeated, but they'd already cooled off. The Jewish people were not the untouchables anymore. And in that respect, so Yisro heard that and he witnessed whatever from afar, but he heard what had happened. He'd heard the greatness of the Jewish people, that there was Kriyas Yamsuf and the tremendous miracles which Hashem had performed for them. On the other hand, he'd also heard that despite that, Amalek came to attack the Jewish people. So what did he conclude from there? He concluded that the fact that everybody was afraid and was trembling at the tremendous miracles that were done for the Jewish people, and they held the Jewish people in tremendous high regard, but the effect soon wore off. And that was shall we say, the major sin of the Amalekites, that they wanted to show that, the fact that the Jewish people are so, you think they're invincible? They're not invincible. We're going to attack them. And this was the whole point why Kosh Baruch Hu got so upset. The end of last week's Parsha says, Milchama Hashem ba'Amalek. That Kosh Baruch Hu has a war against Amalek. Why is that? Because they were the ones who kind of shrugged off the invincibility of the Jewish people, and they said, well, no, we're going to attack them. Yeah, they don't think, who do you think they are? Who do you think they're so invincible there? God is on their side. We're going to show that we can attack them as well. So therefore, Yisro came to the conclusion that if he's going to internalize, or shall we say, he's going to actually make a change in his own personal life, the fact that this tremendous, that he witnessed, we heard about all these miracles, there's only one solution: to go ahead and join the Jewish people. To admire the Jewish people from afar, then the effect is going to wear off after some time. The only way he was going to be influenced for the positive from the greatness of the Jewish people is by picking up his bags and joining with the Jewish people. That's what he says. Mashmiya Shoma Ubo. Okay, they will decide to go ahead and come to them, to join the Jewish people. And the answer to that is, he saw two things. He saw Kriyas Yamsuf, and he saw that was followed by the war of Amalek. So you see, admiring the Jewish people from afar, even following them from afar, is not going to be good enough. I've got to pick up my bags and join them. Okay, let's do the next Rashi here. Yisro.
I've heard what you just said many times.
Yeah.
But it seems to me, Adarabba, the Amalekites were a very mighty nation, and they attacked the Jewish people, and the Jewish people won. That shows Dafka, the Jewish people are invincible.
Yeah, but it doesn't say they absolutely defeated them. It says, they weakened them. They didn't, it was not an absolute victory.
Uh-huh.
They only weakened them. That's what it says in the passage. By the way, just a thought which occurred to me is Lamaisa, that is the last thing of Parshas Beshalach. And that's why Rashi is commenting over here, Vayishma Yisro Moshe, including this last piece of last incident where the Amalekites attacked the Jewish people, and Yeshua was able to weaken the Amalekites. Rashi says, by Yachalosh, in fact, Rashi says, right? Chotach Roshi Giboirov. Okay, he cut off the heads of the mighty ones. He only left the weak ones among them. Below Horgu Kulam. And he didn't kill all of them.
God cut off the heads of the mighty ones?
Yes, it's interesting. So why didn't he wipe them all out? So Rashi says, "Mekan onu lemedim she'asa pi adibo shel Shechina." They did exactly as the Kodesh Baruch Hu told them. And for some reason, the Kodesh Baruch Hu didn't want them to all be wiped out. Okay, it's interesting. Why did Akash Baruch Hu want it to be that way? I do not know. Okay, let's go weiter.
Okay, so there were 7 names.
Yisro,
Reuel, Yeter, Yisro, Chovav, Hever, Kani, Putiel, Yeter, Al Shem Sheyiter, Parasha Achas, B'Torah. Okay, so Yeter means extra because he caused one more passage of the Torah
to be written. He I should say, no, he introduced. He didn't bring it. I mean, he caused that an extra part of the Torah should be written. I.e.,
Ata Techezer, and you see.
And you shall, well, that actually doesn't mean that it means you shall, with your power of prophecy, you shall appoint. That's what it really means. Doshen Chizoyan, which is using the power of prophecy.
Okay, so that's that name. That's Yeter. Yisro lich shenis gayer v'kiyem hamitzvos ho sifu lo os achas al shemo. So
As I translated, Atos Sechazeh means, and you shall prophetically select. So I translated it. Okay. Anyway, Yisro, therefore, when he became a proselyte,
Yisro, because when he converted to Judaism and fulfilled the commandments, they added a letter Vav to his other name Yeter.
right?
Chovav
It's interesting. I had an interesting question on this. When did he convert to Judaism? After he mentioned this parasha that you should appoint, or before?
I presume after I presume that's
the implication over here. He first said the parasha and he got the name Yeser, and after that he converted to Judaism, became a ger, and then he got the name Yisro. Okay, even though Lamaisa, it's not so simple because first of all, the Torah calls him Yisro straight away over here before he came. Vayishma Yisro Midyan Moshe. So the Torah calls him here Yisro. That's number one. And number two, this whole section, Vator Sechazer, Rashi's going to say later on, took place on the day after Yom Kippur. Vahimi Macharas, and Pasuk Yud Gimel, Rashi's mentioning it, it was on the next day. Rashi's points, well, next day of what? Doesn't say. Okay? Then it was on the next day after Yom Kippur. And it's either, there's a machlokas actually, when did Yisro come? Did he come before the giving of the Torah or after the giving of the Torah? But either way, he definitely came before Yom Kippur. And the Chayra he'd already converted as well before Yom Kippur, the Chayra. Mamela, therefore, you've got a bit of a question that the name Yisro was already given to him before he'd actually said this parsha of you prophetically appoint judges. Okay, the Mefarshim dwell on this, but I'm not going to, it's a little bit involved, so I'm not going to go into it right now. Okay, but anyway, that's a point to ponder. Okay, Chovav.
Chovav shechibeid es haTorah. He's called Chovav because he loved the Torah.
Right.
The Chovav hu Yisro, and Chovav is Yisro. Shne'emar mi b'nei Chovav chosein Moshe. As it says, from the sons of Chovav, the father-in-law of Moshe. V'yesh omrim Ruel aviv shel Yisro. There are those who say that Ruel was not Yisro, but rather the father of Yisro. Umahu Omer, and what is the meaning of the verse which says, Vitavo na el Ruel avihem, and they came to Ruel, their father.
So that's mashma that Yisro himself was called Ruel. Okay, the answer
Or
is
the father of the girls was called Yisro. Well, it was called Ruel.
right. So the answer is Shatinoikos.
Shahatinokos Korin La'avi Avihen Abba. Because young children call their father's father, father.
They call their grandfather father. Okay.
Hosein Moshe, the father-in-law of Moshe. Kan Haya Yisro Miskabed Kemoshe.
B'Moshe.
Bimoshe. Here, it was that Yisro felt himself honored through Moshe. Ani Chosein Hamelech. I am the father-in-law of the king. Ula she'avar haya Moshe tole hagedula b'chamiv. While in the past Moshe attributed the greatness to his father-in-law, Shne'emar Bayashav el Yeter Chosno, says Chosno, as it says, and he returned to Yeter, his father-in-law.
Okay. So Rashi is just pointing out that kind of the situation has changed somewhat. Previously, when Moshe was running away from Egypt, and he came to Midian, and he met came across the daughters of Yisro being molested. I don't remember molested is too strong a word. Being anyway
Harassed.
Being prevented from feeding their flock because the other people had ostracized Yisro. So came along Moshe and he saved them, as the pasuk says in Parsha Shmos. He saved them from the other shepherds, and he gave the sheep, Yisro's sheep, to drink. And this way, the Yisro's daughters managed to get back home much quicker than they had done otherwise. Okay, but at that point, even though he had been a prince in the house of Pharaoh, nevertheless Moshe, when he came to Midian, he was garnished. He wasn't anybody of fame or anybody of stature, right? Whereas Yisro was a man of important position. So therefore, at that point, Moshe Rabbeinu was proud to call himself, I am the son-in-law of Yisro. But at this point, where Moshe Rabbeinu is now the leader of the Jewish people, and they're the top nation, everybody's fearing, is afraid of them. And now Yisro comes along and he says, oh, you know, I'm the father-in-law of Moshe. Moshe Rabbeinu is the leader of the Jewish people, the great man Moshe. You know, I'm his father-in-law. So this way he is honored through Moshe. Okay?
LeMoshe ul Yisrael, to Moses and to Israel. Shakul Moshe Kineged Kol Yisrael.
Wow.
Moshe was equal to all of Israel.
Right.
Ace Kol Asher Asa.
Because it says, okay.
All that he did. Lahem, for them. Beridas
Yeridas Hamon,
Beridas Haman, Uva Be'er, Uva Malek. In the descent of the Man, as well, and in the well, and in the battle with Amalek.
right.
Ki hotzi Hashem.
The question is why Rashi is pointing after these three things out. But anyway, point is that these three were special good things which HaKadosh Baruch Hu done for the Jewish people. He provided them with mon, which was food. Uba be'er, which was a well, he provided them with water. Uba molek, and he protected them from their enemies. Okay? Now you're going to say Kriyas Yamsuf as well, but that's what they say. Ki ha'itzi Hashem es Yisrael miMitzrayim. Yeah,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your last sentence.
he's saying that if HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he's saying the great things which Hashem had done for the Jewish people. Okay, so there was many more things than just giving the man and the well and the defeating Amalek. But that's these last things, everything to do with them leaving Egypt, including Kriyas Yamsuf, is included in the last phrase. Ki ha'itzi Hashem es Yisrael miMitzrayim.
Okay. Ki hotzi Hashem v'gomer. Zo gedola al kulam. This is greater than all.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, the Mizrahi adds as if you have to read it over here with an extra vowel. Right? He's done Keta is Kol Asher Oseh Elokim Moshe Yisrael Amoy. V'chi ha'itzi Hashem es Yisrael miMitzrayim. I think I translated it as Just trying to remember. 1 second. 1 second. Especially, so I added the word of it, especially that the Eternal had taken Israel out of Mitzrayim. Okay, let's continue. Mea, Pasuk base.
Okay, Vayikach Yitro, Choten Moshe et Zipporah, Eshet Moshe Achar Shalucheha. Okay, so Yitro, who's the father-in-law of Moshe, took Zipporah, who was the wife of Moshe, after
He had sent her away.
she sent her
After
away.
she had been sent away.
Oh, yeah, so Moshe didn't want her there.
Right.
Uh-huh. Okay, so Rashi. Achar shilu hecha, after having sent her away. Okay. Kishamar lo hakadosh baruch hu b'midyan. So when Hashem said to Moshe Midian, Lech shuv Mitzrayim, go
Mitzrayim mo.
return.
Lech shuv Mitzrayim mo should be.
Oh, you have Mitzrayim?
Yeah.
That makes sense, towards Egypt. I don't have that.
Okay.
Okay.
That's actually the correct difference.
Let me just check. Rashi. No, even the Rashi script on top doesn't have that.
It was a different reading.
Okay, could be. I mean, it makes sense because you return towards
I know it, but that's
Mitzrayim.
the quote from the Pasuk. Pasuk Daled Yutes.
Oh, okay.
That's what the Pasuk says.
Okay.
So actually, you're right. It's interesting. Then Hashem and Moshe b'midyan lech shuv Mitzrayim. You're right. So I don't know why in my edition over here, let me check over here.
What the pasuk did you say?
Accurate. He also quotes it, Lech Shuv Mitzrayim. He quotes that from Shmos Daled Yutes. There should be Mitzrayim, because that's what is written in the pasuk there. It's very interesting. Lech Shuv Mitzrayim. Don't know. Okay, it's an interesting point.
Okay. Let's see. Vayikach Moshe et ishto v'et banav. So Moshe took his wife and his sons. V'yatsa Aharon likratav, and he went out to greet. Aaron went out. Aharon went out to greet them. Vayifgeshehu b'har halokim. And he met him at the
Mountain
of Hashem. Wow. Okay. Marlo. So Aaron said to Moshe, Mihaim halalu. Who are these? Marlo, he, ishti, she'nasati b'midyan, ve'elu, banai, Yehu Banai. Okay. So he said to him, I guess Moshe said back to Aaron, this is my wife, who I married in Midian. And these are my sons. Okay. Amar lo v'heichan ata molichan. So he said to him, I guess Aaron said back, and where ata molichin, are you taking
Where are you
them?
taking them?
Okay. Amar lo Mitzrayim. Moshe said to him, to Egypt. Amar lo al harishonim anu mitztarim yataba lahosif alechem. So Aaron said back to Moshe, Rishon anu mitztarim. We're in distress over the first ones.
Well, yeah, we are. Let me try and see how best translate it. The first ones, the people of Israel, already Mitzrayim, we are distressed. And now you're coming to add to their number?
Oh, by bringing them. Oh, okay, I see.
Right.
Amar la lechi levet avicha. Okay,
Avicha.
so he said
So
to
Moshe
her,
said to his wife,
to his wife, go back to your father's house. Wow. Not la shnei vanea v'hacha la. So she took her two sons and went there, I guess went la, or to, I don't know what la stands for, but
and she went on her way.
so she went on her way. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so the point, right. So therefore they weren't there. That's why now, after they came out of Egypt, Yisro came with his daughter, Moshe's wife, and their two sons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think we're going to stop here. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay.
Very
Have a
good.
good day,
Okay.
Rabbi.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Shkoyach Me'er.